The judge in former President Trump's New York civil fraud case has just ruled on a new challenge from New York Attorney General Letitia James. She wanted to have Trump's $175 million bond rejected, but the court says his bond will stand. Here's what the former president had to say ahead of that ruling this morning.
We have another trial going on right now. That's Letitia James. She campaigned on the fact that I will get Trump. I'm going to get Trump. And it has to do with a bond of $175 million. She doesn't want me to participate with financial companies in New York. So we have a company, I guess, based in California. I put up $175 million in cash, and she's questioning the bonding company.
Hi there, Emily. There have been many appearances and hearings before Judge Arthur Engoron during the course of this civil fraud trial. Many of them have been contentious, but this one stands out because the parties were surprisingly collaborative. The hearing lasted for about an hour, and during that time, the lawyers for Trump and the state attorney general's office came to an agreement about the bond. Now, questions had swirled around the company underwriting the bond. That's Knight Specialty Insurance Company. It always maintained that Trump posted cash as collateral to secure the bond, but the attorney general raised questions about how that account was managed and who had access to it, and whether Knight Specialty could pay the bond if needed. So to address those concerns, here's what both sides agreed. The cash that Trump put up as collateral will remain as cash in a Charles Schwab account. Knight Insurance will have exclusive control of that account. No one will trade or withdraw the money. Knight Insurance and Trump will provide monthly statements to the attorney general's office and the court proving that the balance remains $175 million.
Letitia James got the big smackdown this morning. Big Letty found out that her attack on Trump's bond isn't going to work. The court ruled that the bond is valid and sufficient. And why not? It's backed in cash. Let me give you a little insight here because I think it's really important. As you may know, the original bond amount was for $454 million plus interest to match the judgment that the judge threw on him. Trump then appealed, and the appellate court dropped the bond limit to $175 million. But here's why it's really important. Letitia James, Big Letty, tried to make the bond so high that it would be almost impossible for Trump to appeal the $454 million verdict. That was obviously a clear violation of his due process rights. And fortunately, the appellate court stepped in and realized it and dropped the bond to $175 million. They did not vacate the $454 million judgment, but now he can move forward with the appeal. And then he posted the $175 million bond, but Big Letty got cute. And what she did was basically bar any New York firm from doing business with Donald Trump, basically and effectively taking him away from Wall Street. She tried to make it nearly impossible for Donald Trump to get a bond so that she could then go crazy and seize his assets. But as Donald Trump is known to do, he found a bond company out in California that would post a $175 million bond. Oh, but Big Letty didn't want to hear that. She tried to invalidate the bond. She needed the company to give her all kinds of information to prove that they were actually, a competent bond company and that they had the merit to show $175 million. Well, they did. And today, the court ruled that the bond is valid and sufficient.
A trial on the $175 million, that's Letitia James. It's all coming out of the White House, by the way. And that's in front of Judge Engoron. And the judge really didn't know anything. He didn't know about collateral security. He said, supposing it goes down. Well, it doesn't go down because it's cash. I put up $175 million in cash, and we have a bonding company do it. And he challenged the bonding company that maybe the bonding company was no good. Well, they're good, and they also have $175 million of collateral, my collateral. But the judge didn't know anything about it. He didn't know what the $175 million cash meant. He had no idea what anything meant. And he had no idea what he did in the trial. And he charged me hundreds of millions of dollars on something where I'm totally innocent. But if you look at what happened today, Judge Engoron should not have done that trial. Should have gone to the business division where they have complex business trials. But actually, it should have never been brought because I didn't overestimate. You know, they say I overestimated. If you look at the numbers, they're underestimated. I underestimated. I did the opposite of what they said. And the reason that they tried to, and they did it for their own narrative, they valued $1 billion asset at $18 million. They valued other assets in order to build their narrative. They want to build a narrative. But if you look, and I have a complete record of what happened, Judge Engoron had no idea what was going on, didn't understand the most simple concepts. And this is the man that took a case, and this is why businesses they're moving out of New York because they can't be subject to this. They'd be put out of business. They're moving out of New York because of it. But Judge Engoron had absolutely no idea what had happened. He didn't realize we put up 175. But when he found out we put it up, he said, "What happens if it goes up or down?" I said, "It doesn't," or they said, "It doesn't go up or down. It's cash that we put up, all cash." Very few people could do that. And the deal was approved with the Attorney General, if you can believe that. But the deal was approved. She just tried to embarrass everybody, and she tried to embarrass a very good bonding company by saying they weren't creditworthy. Well, they were creditworthy, and what was more important is they had as security $175 million that I put up. But the point here is that the judge had no idea what was happening. And this is the same judge that 2 months ago made a ruling that shook the world. It shook the world because everyone knows going to that trial I did nothing wrong. And over here, I did nothing wrong also. This is a Biden witch hunt to keep me off the campaign trail.
Why is that important? Well, today could spell the end of Big Letty's case against Donald Trump. Why? Because now he can appeal it and go through the entire appellate process all the way to the Supreme Court if he has to. His entire legal team now doesn't have to worry about Big Letty or Judge Engoron. They can focus specifically on constitutional merits to have this entire case thrown out. I believe they call that checkmate in chess. Here's one of Trump's attorney, Alina, responding to the big win today.
I just left where a judge asked us whether our cash bond, cash sitting in. Miss James wanted to argue and say that our cash somehow isn't green enough.
He didn't understand that it was backed by cash. $175 million in cash was what backed the surety bond that this company put up.
We wasted time. The judge made a comment saying he thought that money market accounts could go down under the amount. He doesn't even understand basic principles of finance.
So he thought it was like a stock. He didn't know. He thought it could go up and down based on the market. He didn't realize it was backed by $175 million of actual greenbacks, actual cash. It's not going to fluctuate.
But this was the man that decided that we owed money and my client committed fraud. We are going to attack every single one. 1 hour, the Attorney General and that judge realized quickly that they had no idea what they were talking about.
Way over their head.
Came to an agreement that everything would be the same, we would modify terms, and that was it. This is where your taxpayer dollars are going, America. Right here. Witch hunt after witch hunt. This is a joke. It's an affront to the American Constitution. It's an affront to our judicial system, and it's an affront to every lawyer that cares about their license, that cares about what is right and wrong. I am sick of coming in front of the press and saying this, but you have to, because you people need to understand what is going on. And now our taxpayer dollars, my time, our attorney's fees, are all here because they're afraid of 2024. And you know what? They should be, because the American people are not stupid. They see what's going on. Thank you.
I love her. Oh my gosh, she's just too snapped up right there. Y'all need to be afraid because the American people are no longer stupid and she's 100% right. What's really interesting is that the media is now beginning to realize, hey, maybe all this lawfare wasn't a good idea after all. Maybe all this lawfare is pissing off the American people, even people who weren't necessarily in the Trump camp, who weren't supporters of Donald Trump, are beginning to see, hey, this is bullshit. And it's really starting to show in the polls. And Listen to what some of the people in the media are saying.
We don't know how that is going to play. Up until now, these legal cases have only helped him fundraising, made him, tell people he's the victim, energized his base, and so he's risen in the polls.
He doesn't have to tell people it's a victim. People are now seeing it. You made this guy stay in New York for every single day of this trial. You told him that he can't even respond. You're going to gag him. You told him he can't go to his son's high school graduation. Y'all yucked it up, thought it was a big deal, thought it was funny. And now you're seeing the American people starting to give you the side eye and go, hey man, this isn't right. This isn't right at all.
With every indictment. Now we're going to see him really powerless. The judge has been very effective, and how they handle the gag order is yet to be seen.
You think Donald Trump is powerless? Wow, you've got another thing coming, Miss Mitchell.
While Joe Biden is campaigning, the problem for Joe Biden and for the Democrats is Trump is crowding out the trial, is crowding out everything else. So,
well, whose fault is that? You've basically made it top story at every newscast. What's going on in the Trump trial? Are you then now going to say, listen, maybe we shouldn't even cover this? Maybe people shouldn't see what we're doing? We're going to do this entire thing under the cover of darkness? Judge Marchand in the New York case with Alvin Bragg, he doesn't even want cameras in the courtroom. He's already said, I don't even want reporters talking about it. That's not gonna fly. That is definitely not gonna fly. And more people are beginning to see this thing stinks.
So Joe Biden goes out and does major policy.
I'd stop it. Look at those two faces right there. If I'm not a body language expert, but any body language expert would just look at those two faces. Those two guys right there are like, what have we done? What did the Democrats do? They've unleashed holy hell upon their beloved poo-poo diaper Joe. This isn't going to work. And that guy right there, the black guy with his arms crossed, he absolutely knows it.
Policy things, the steel tariffs in Pennsylvania, everything else that he's doing, student loans breaking through a little bit, but everything else is crowded out. And it's the Trump story. And that's what happened in 2016 to Hillary Clinton. And that could be replicated this year. I think the enthusiasm issue and the young voter issue is critical. And as long as this war in Gaza...
So you think that just by paying off some student loans, that's going to change everything until the Supreme Court steps in and slaps poo-poo diaper Joe down again? And this Gaza stuff that's going on in these college campuses, those kids are just whacked. They're absolutely whacked. And they're also hurting the Biden campaign, as well as regular people are looking and going, what the hell is wrong with these people? What the hell is wrong? They're not getting sympathy. They're only getting sympathy from the nut crowd.
Goes on, this is going to be a problem with young voters because they have an off-ramp. That off-ramp is RFK Jr. And I know your poll shows that RFK Jr. would hurt Trump more than Biden, hypothetically, and it's very early in polling, to say who would, but I think the White House, I know the White House is more afraid of him.
Yeah.
His family certainly is, because it was very hard for those siblings to come out and do that. They all did it because they think he really hurts them. Joe Biden more than Donald Trump.
She just admitted it. She just admitted that MSNBC and a lot of the polls that you're trying to do say that RFK Jr. hurts Trump. And she just said on her own network, hey, I think it's bullshit. I think RFK Jr. and the White House knows that RFK Jr. hurts Biden. Of course it hurts Biden. Why would not the entire Kennedy clan run to Biden's defense? Because they have to. They all have to now try anything they possibly can because none of this crap is working. And she's completely right. The latest polls, if you want to believe in polls, are devastating to poo-poo diaper Joe. And I personally feel the real numbers behind these polls, if this is what they can show you on television, it's absolutely worse. I've talked to so many people, and within 2 or 3 questions, you can get people nodding and going, yeah, this sucks. Hey, you like these gas prices? No, they suck. Would you like lower gas prices? Yeah. How about your food prices? Do they suck? Yeah, I'm paying way too much. How about your mortgage or your rent? Are you trying to buy a house? Yeah. So why would you vote for poo-poo diaper Joe for more of this? And wars and craziness in the streets and the border, and it's over. The question at that point is, I don't want this. I can't stand this. Look at these numbers.
What are you seeing behind the numbers that might indicate why this is all happening?
Yeah, I think
Now, before he changes the screen, I want you to go ahead and look at those numbers. The word poo-poo diaper Joe doesn't even show up. Trump is crushing in every single poll. All of them. And if these are the numbers they're willing to put on television, you have to wonder what the real numbers are.
There's a lot of talk in this campaign about the lesser of two evils. I'm not quite sure that is an apt description, right? This is viewed favorably across Georgia, Michigan, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin. In the 2020 exit polls, what do we see? 50% of voters view Joe Biden on average favorably in those states, compared to just 45% for Donald Trump. Look.
And most of us know that polling data he just showed from 2020 was BS as well.
Look at the Joe Biden trend line where he is now. Joe Biden is far less like than he was 4 years ago. Just 43% of voters now view Joe Biden favorably in these states. And Donald Trump, despite everything that has happened, is actually slightly more liked. 47% favorable rating. So this isn't just the lesser of two evils that's going on. The fact is that Donald Trump is, in fact, better liked than he was 4 years ago, and is better liked than Joe Biden is right now in these battleground states. It's pretty gosh darn clear.
Perry, great to see you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
They hate it. They hate that they're even putting this out there. So why are they putting it out there? Because I think they're trying to rally their base and say, hey, listen, we got to get behind Pooper Diaper Joe here. If not, Donald Trump could get elected. I'm telling you right now, it's a steamroll. It's a train that can't be stopped legally. I firmly believe if Poo-Poo Diaper Joe was smart, he would contact all these prosecutors and say, let's just go ahead and dismiss these cases. It's not working. You don't keep doing something that's failing. And right now, they're continuing to do more and more stuff that is failing. They are rapidly losing ground with the American people. And we're only in the second week of the New York trial. I don't see how they can overcome Trump being on television once or twice per day, live, every single day for the next 3 or 4 months for free. And as it progresses, the American people are watching Poo-Poo Diaper Joe's campaign and Congress completely implode. It's over. It's absolutely over. I'm calling it right now. The only possible way that Poo-Poo Diaper Joe can beat Donald Trump is with a mass amount of late night ballot dumps on November 5th. That's it. That's the only way. The only possible way that they can beat him right now is dare I say cheat? Yeah, I have to say it, because this is the bed that they decided to lie in. They decided to just use this lawfare where people can see it in the open press, watch him on television, and realize this guy's not playing the victim. He is the victim. He is being persecuted on a grand scale. It's not fair. And normal people, I'm not talking about the pink-haired, nose ring, not know which gender they are type people. Normal people can see this is complete BS. If it's a fair fight, it's over. It's already over. Let me know what you think about Letitia James, Big Letty, getting smacked down today, and that the bond that they put in place, or rather the appellate court put in place of $175 million is valid and sufficient. And now they move to the appellate process, where I think this thing just completely gets dismissed, gets destroyed, and then what's going to happen? Talk to you soon. In fact, I'm working on another video for later on. See you soon.